Obduction is one of the free games on Epic this week, from Cyan, the creators of Myst, Riven and Uru amongst others. This is an overview rather than a full review, as I've actually not had time to complete the game yet. Cyan sadly were no longer offering review keys, so I had to wait like everyone else. However, I will follow the same format as my usual reviews, just don't expect any comments on the ending. For many, Cyan will need no introduction. Myst is a masterpiece, and in fact has its own Masterpiece Edition. And while Myst was a point-and-click puzzle game, originally at least, Obduction is a fully realised 3D world which you can explore both in VR and Pancake Vision. My VR headset is in England, so I'm doing it Pancake Vision. So following a similar theme, it too is a puzzle-driven adventure game with many puzzles hidden in plain sight around the world. There's no real direction, and it is up to you to find and solve these puzzles. If you've ever done an escape room, this is an escape room on steroids. The story plays a role in all Cyan's games, though the main focus remains the puzzle aspect, and Obduction is no different. The basis is your character has been abducted by aliens and deposited on an alien world. Your goal is to find a way home. From there, the story is actually very engaging and interesting, and if you want to fully interact with it, the trickle of information will leave you wanting more details. That said, you could equally get away with ignoring most of the story and just playing the game, though it is important you read all the little bits of information and books dotted around the place. In Obduction, you start the game on Earth, and you are quickly abducted and deposited on the alien world. You are then free to start exploring. Many objects can be interacted with in the world, and many things you don't think are important probably are, so it's important to try and explore everything. After leaving the initial area, you find a hologram who explains where you are, and this is a recurring theme, something that was similar in the Myst games, though books were involved with videos there. That said, the holograms imply there should be other people around, but you will find the world rather empty at this stage. Shortly after this point, you are pretty much left to your own devices for exploration of the frankly stunning landscape. This initial area feels very Wild West in its overall theme, basically a desert in Arizona. But thankfully, if you explore enough, you will eventually find a little bit of direction. And when I say a little bit, I do mean a little, and that is the theme for the rest of the game. It is possible to take pictures of things you pick up or see, and I would highly recommend doing this. It is a nice feature. In previous games, I found myself having to write everything down on a pad of paper. Now you can take pictures of all these objects or puzzles or codes, and you can save them and look at them later. That is a very handy feature. Do not underestimate it. As you progress through the game, you complete more puzzles, gain access to more environments, and thus more puzzles, though you will find yourself needing to backtrack at times because you may have missed a clue or a random hidden passage. Some people may unfortunately find this quite frustrating. It is easy to get lost going back over as the world is so large, and easy to miss these little passages. Sadly, one of the negatives of the game is as the game progresses, you will find that you are spending more of your time running back and forth, and sadly this does mean loading screens once you are changing worlds, which some people find very annoying, and even on faster computers they sometimes take a little while. And having to do this multiple times for one puzzle can become quite frustrating. The puzzles themselves range in difficulty, but some of them are very hard and very complex, and as a result completing them yourself feels very rewarding. Now in fairness, this game won't be for everyone, as it can be very frustrating to get to that point. There are however a lot of walkthrough guides for the game, so don't be ashamed of needing to use one at times. Many people do. Also, do not forget to take breaks. Coming back to a puzzle with a fresh mind will help you. The game and its puzzles are designed to be challenging. Some background concepts you need to know for the puzzles may be something you have never learned, although there will be clues to answer these throughout the game and help you with many of them. They don't leave you hanging, there will be a clue. I'm going to give you an example. In the earlier part of the game, there is a puzzle that suggests you need to know base 4, which is a type of numbering system. You do not need to know it, there is a clue in the game that gives you the answer, you just have to find it. Graphically, the game is stunning. It can be a little chuggy in places though, and I'm not entirely sure why. It's in the Unreal Engine, so it could just be the level of detail, But even on my system, which is pretty reasonable, it does chug in places randomly. But the game has a wide variety of environments which are all incredibly detailed to the point of being absolutely stunning. Not only in respect to the world itself and the fact the areas look lived in, but also the fact that the puzzles themselves look amazing. Some of them are huge. The lighting effects are superb, and you will really notice this going from dark tunnels out into the open world, though I did find it buggy in a couple of spots. They have certainly done a really good job of making the game world feel alive. As in previous games, I really enjoy Cyan's use of real people as actors posing in the game in various videos or similar to create a very unique effect. The fact it doesn't look quite real, even though it's supposed to be someone who's there, really makes you question whether they really are there or if you're just seeing another holographic recording. Regarding the game's sound, the background sounds are great, all the puzzles and the noises they make are fantastic. The background music, however, is just not quite as iconic as it was in Myst. It's very pleasant when it's there, but you don't really miss it when it's gone, and I certainly couldn't remember how the tunes go. It mostly seems to play when you find a new area. However, as I say, the sound effects themselves are fantastic, and this is something Cyan has always done very well. In summary, if you're a fan of old school adventure puzzle games like Myst, there is something here for you, and I really highly recommend playing it. And if you enjoy very challenging escape rooms, then again you will really enjoy this game. It has stunning environments that are very fun to explore initially, and you will get so much satisfaction from working out a puzzle. Some of the puzzles are incredibly fun and incredibly challenging in just the right way. Others can be a bit tedious, but that would apply in most games like this. I really enjoyed the story so far, and it's making me think hard about what actually went on in the world. Later the game becomes a bit frustrating with the amount of running around due to the very large open worlds, and for some people the loading times between worlds is also quite annoying. There are also times when the controls or more the object you interact with are rather clunky. I got stuck at one point not because I was doing anything wrong, but because the directional arrows were not showing over the puzzle, and you had to be very aggressive to get it moving the right way. Regardless of this, I find myself wanting to finish the game, which is a good sign. I freely admit I had to look at a walkthrough once in my playthrough because I failed to find a little side path and got stuck for the better part of an hour trying to find it. Obduction, for its intriguing story, its incredible world visuals and stunning vistas, as well as at times its extremely enjoyable puzzles, gets a 4.5 out of 5 from me. It drops that 0.5 because sadly the tedious nature of the significant running back and forth later in the game, the loading times for some people, as well as a few clunky controls that just made the game frustrating when it didn't need to be. As I say, if you enjoyed the old Myst games or love puzzle games or escape rooms, give it a go. And when you get there, try and put up with the running back and forth. It is worth it in the end. You can grab Obduction free on the Epic Store until the 22nd of July. Please leave comments and feedback down below. What do you all think of the game? As always, please smash that like button and subscribe, and I will see you all next week for some more free games on Epic. I'll also be uploading my playthrough of Obduction, though it'll probably be in chunks over the next week and the week after.